Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am not inside of a studio. I am no longer. I have officially moved into my new office space, and where I'm at now is this is all going to be temporary. I have my studio is literally through this wall right here. I'm going to be building that out. I have, and instead of going and like hanging everything on the wall this weekend, I decided to wait until the painters came in, because I'm going to have them come in and paint the inside of the studio out there, and then I'm going to hang everything on the wall, and then I'm going to have the acoustics company that I'm going to be working with come in and do all of that stuff. So instead of going back and forth, I just decided just to put everything in my official workspace that I'm going to be in here now. So like I actually have like a real office now, and then I got a sales floor right in front of me, and then the conference room / studio that I'm building out is going to be right next door. So I'm going to be all out here doing all of this, and yeah, this is my temporary workspace here for the time being. But yeah, I just want to show the realities of all of these things, and just keep it real with you guys, because that's kind of just how I built up the brand. And as I always got to have that American flag flying behind me every single weekday, you guys, because like it is legitimately a dream to be where I am based off of where I started just a few short years ago. And for me personally, it's exciting to see. And we got a big show today, you guys. We got a big show. I got some announcements that are going to be coming off here in a second. But before we do any of that, you guys, as always, are going to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. And the best part about with what they have, you get paid to move these trailers. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out for them, you guys. So for all my small fleets or my owner ops and all my friends out there who are, you should never have to shut your trailer down anymore because or you should never have to shut your operation down because you have a trailer in the shop. So what they're working on right now, you guys, is they have like 150 dry vans in Paragould, Arkansas, needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario. And you get 1,000 Canadian to do that, you guys. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these out. But like when there's these bulk trailers like this, you guys can create a drop trailer pool at your customer's facility. So like say you have a shipper in Louisville needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario, boom, there you go. You can move those trailers up there, drop them, and get that freight up there. So you guys, it's just a way for us to get creative in how we are selling and presenting in these markets. And then also they have a bunch of trailers out in San Diego. You guys have like over 300 trailers out there. And then they have, this one is from San Diego going out to Chicago, Illinois, and you get 600 US to move that. They also have San Diego, California going to Houston, Texas. You get 800 US to move that. And then they have San Diego, California going out to Sealy, Texas, New Braunfels, Texas, and you get 1,100 US to do that. And then they also have San Diego, California going to Opelousas, Louisiana, and that's paying 2,000 US to do that. And then finally, they have one just going north of Dallas there in Plainview, Texas, and that's 1,100 US to do that, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. And my friends, Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Got a lot of comments coming up here, you guys. I'm going to get to them. But I also have some other very, very exciting news. I have a brand new partnership to announce here. As always, you guys, I'm very much committed to working with companies who are committed to improving this industry, to helping people stay in business as a whole, and really moving the industry forward. And, one of the big components that I wanted to do here is I wanted to help people read freight markets, right? Like at the end of the day, all of my stuff is about education, based content. That's all I want to do is help people stay in business. I want to help people I want to help people read freight markets. I want to help people learn. I want to help people stay profitable in any market out there. So with that being said, I have a very exciting new partnership to announce today, you guys. I am partnering with greenscreens.ai. We're going to start doing a daily lane report. I'm going to teach you guys how to read freight markets, right? And this is applicable to both brokers and carriers alike, you guys, is we're going to go up there and because there's patterns in all of this. And that's one thing that I have noticed here a lot of is I want to help you guys see, when are these spikes going to happen? Like, when are the drops going to happen? And frankly, how do we do that day in and day out? Because like national averages and all of that stuff are great. Don't get me wrong. But how does that apply to your business? How does that help you as an individual win more business as you're building your book of business, as you're building your freight brokerage or your trucking company or wherever that looks like? And, guys, data is everything. And I'm also utilizing green screens inside of my own operation as well. So again, you guys, just like the basis of all of the content that I put out there, it's to help keep you guys profitable, right? It's to help bring in, just like with all the guests that I have on here, you guys, I want to highlight the right people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so we can put this information out there, you guys, that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's the entire point of this show. And I'm very, very excited to be working with Green Screens to help you guys all win more opportunities that are out there, increase your closure rate with your customers, and then frankly, be able to read where markets are trending. Because in my experience, and obviously you guys, I jokingly say that I've only done 3 truckloads in my entire career, but I've been in this industry for 12 years. A lot of what I'm seeing right now is very much in line with how other market shifts happen. So how do you get ahead of this, right? How do you bring this information to your customers so you can earn more opportunities and not be having to recycle any of that stuff? So, I'm really, really, really excited about this, you guys. It's a segment that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And Green Screens has been a longtime fan of the show. Don and Kevin and Celine and all of those guys, Matt, Silver, all of those guys are massive supporters of what I'm doing here. And I'm really excited to get this up and running and live, and really show you guys what I'm doing inside of my own company to help you guys all win more business. So that's what some big exciting news is today. Let me see here. Whitney Young, good morning. Good to see you out there, man. He's watching over on YouTube. Let me see. Flo, good morning. Alan, Elaine, Francois, good morning. Vitaly, technically. Tony, good morning. Sunny Sharma, I appreciate that, man. It is, like I said, it's temporary, as I didn't want to do the same thing twice and set up and tear everything down. Craig Rich, good morning. Sam Hunter, I appreciate that, man. It's exciting to be into this. Rose, I appreciate that. Thank you. And Mario, it's the first thing I do when I bought my house back in October. First thing I did was hang the American flag outside. When I moved into my other office where I was previously, the first thing I did was hang an American flag in there. And that was literally the first thing I hung on the wall behind me, because I legitimately am living my American dream. And none of this that I'm doing right here would be possible if we were inside of any other country but the United States of America. Let me see. Nick Erdman, I appreciate that, my man. Sean Colville, moving on up. Exactly. And then Alan, it's vhubapp.com is where you need to hit up for that. vhubapp.com. Jerome Jones, good morning. Thanks for tuning in here. And that kind of blew through the first couple of minutes of the show, you guys. And we're gonna jump right into some articles here today, you guys. As always, all the links to the articles that I break down will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay, which is available on iTunes and Spotify later on today. I'll get that up there. And let me see. As a freight broker agent, hold on. I'll answer this. I'll answer this right now. You guys, if you guys do have any questions, normally every Friday is a Q&A show. But if you have any questions that you really want answered right now, I'll answer them. You guys, that's legitimately the whole point of this show, is to help with this. And It only says LinkedIn user out here, so I can't see what your name is. But where do I find shippers? So here's like, I'm not trying to sound like too big of a smart ass here, but like legitimately, I built books of businesses off of Google. I currently, for lead generation software, I currently use a company called Seamless.ai. And they are a phenomenal tool to utilize. But for me, wherever you're located, and this is what I tell anybody, I'm located here in Phoenix, Arizona. My strategy would always be to own my backyard, right? I want to go and introduce myself in person or reach out to as many people in Phoenix in the metro area as possible. Based off of your question, I'm assuming that either you're new or starting over fresh in this. So for me personally, it would be, I would choose one freight type. Like, I mean, because I do this anyways. Like I've been doing this for fucking 12 years, you guys, and I only do open deck and heavy haul. Like that's all I fuck with for the most part. Like, yes, I do accommodate some dry van moves because a lot of the specialized moves that I do, you need dry vans because, you know, to protect some of the components from the weather and everything. They don't want to load it on a flatbed for that reason. But my core competency is open deck and heavy haul. My core competency inside of that is going to be building materials. It's going to be construction equipment, precast concrete, and stuff like that. And then specialized moves. That's literally all I do. And that's all I go after. I'm not a jack of all trades. And especially in this freight market right now, they don't need that. They need subject matter experts. They need to work with people who fucking know their freight, right? And that's exactly how I would do this. I would start there. Google, Excel spreadsheet. If you can afford a little bit of technology, I would look into a company like Seamless. Again, they don't sponsor my show. I just use them. And I would start there. Otherwise, Google and Excel spreadsheet. That's what I did. I would all but guarantee that you have freight all within your backyard right now, probably within 5 minutes of wherever you're located, unless you're in a town like I grew up in of 1800, then there's not really a ton of freight out there. But for the most part, start there. That's how I would find shippers. Just introduce yourself. At the end of the day, you guys, you can't go in. Don't hit them with, I'm going to try and save you a little bit of money. Don't hit them with, give me access to your RFP or let me bid on your freight. What value can you add to them? Why would they want to work with you? What's your value statement? What's your value proposition? That's where I would start with that. Yeah, they're going to like to see all of that. Sean says also McCrae Blue Book and Thomas Net. And then, yes, Madison, find that niche. Cody Miller, good fucking morning, freight enthusiast, he says. All right, let's get into an article here. This one came out on the Wall Street Journal last week. And it's growing freight fraud is peeling millions from the U.S. shipping market. Executives say truckers and freight brokers are being duped into bigger numbers by bogus operators impersonating the sector's middlemen. Let me see here. Freight fraud is spreading across trucking networks as tech-savvy operators impersonating middlemen skim off payments for shipping goods that can total thousands of dollars, industry executives say. The fraudulent tactic, long a nagging problem in trucking, has gained momentum in the last 2 years as the business of matching loads to trucks has moved online and heated competition for shipments have cut short the time spent checking the background of business. Carrier payments platform TriumphPay out there estimates that at least $500 to $700 million of shippers and brokers' freight payments are going to double brokers annually. It says that we can consider this really a threat to the whole way of doing business, says Ann Renke. She's the CEO of the TIA in Alexandria. They're out of Alexandria, Virginia, and they're a trade group representing freight brokers. If you're not a member of the TIA and you're a broker, you need to be. And then how can a shipper trust either a carrier or a broker if they're not sure their shipment is going to get where it's going to? Freight brokers, obviously, we all know what they do. Industry executives say that the growing use of the tactic is especially hard on smaller carriers and brokers that have little margin to absorb lost revenue as freight demand is falling. That's out there. Their business can be put in jeopardy if they lose a load payment of $5,000 to $7,000. And that came from Chief Marketing Officer Jeff Hopper over at DAT. And then it is difficult to, it's a very difficult environment. And they're on the hairy edge of profitability anyways. Online freight marketplace truckstop.com said complaints about fraud, including double brokering, jumped 400% in fourth quarter from 2022. that was out there. And then that's been the highest level since 2004 when the company started tracking that. And then the problem has boomed as more freight transactions, once executed largely by phone and fax machine, are completed with digital tools. The thieves tend to go to come after the marketplace when the rates go down, when the rates are difficult in the market, because people don't want their normal vetting don't do their normal vetting of information, said Brent Hutto. He's with truckstop.com. Double brokering is illegal under federal law. And then freight brokers are required to register and post a bond with the federal motor carrier. But an administrative law judge ruled in 2019 that the regulator, an agency in the transportation department, didn't have the authority to assess civil penalties for unauthorized brokerage. Since then, the agency has encouraged brokers, carriers, and shippers to check the FMCSA licensing status of companies they are working with. Let me see. And then Dale Prax, what's up, Dale? He's in this article. He's with Direct Expedite. Said his company recently lost $5,000 on a double brokering. And then a few months, let me see. Said that they paid and handled the load off to a company. Then a few months later, Direct Expedite received an invoice from the carrier that was out there. Said the average margin on a load is about $200, and it would take him 25 more loads to make up that $5,000 hit. First of all, it takes time away from those people out there. This is a very good article. Like I personally think that there's a lot of good information in there, but you know, I keep bringing up fraud, you guys, not because I enjoy banging this drum every fucking day, but this is a very real problem for a lot of companies out there. And again, for me personally, I want to keep bringing this up because I not only do I want to help protect brokers, I want to help protect carriers in this one, because the carriers are the ones who are like the small mom and pops. They're the ones who are getting absolutely devastated by this right now. And for me personally, I think, like, you know, because I mean, imagine a $5,000 hit to an owner op who just started their company, right? Like, I mean, shit, it's, you know, any amount of money is a pain in the ass to try and recuperate. It's time and resources away from doing your job. And, you know, again, for all of my trucking, my owner ops and my small fleets and stuff that watch the show, and I know you guys watch this show, as a broker, I've never once received a bill of lading from somebody that doesn't have product information, that doesn't have a pallet count, that doesn't have shipper information or receiver information. Now there is something out there called a blind shipment or a double blind shipment, where the purchaser of the load doesn't want the receiver to know where it picked up from, because they would cut them out at that stuff. But that's not the case in most times. And if you're taking freight from a broker and that broker is not giving you information, don't take the load, right? Or, you know, and then the another thing is, I know that rates suck right now across the board for the majority of it, because there's brokers out there for some reason who want to post $1 a mile. And like I say to all of them, fuck them anyways, right? But for, you know, like, say you've been running a lane fairly consistently for $1,500, and now somebody's offering, like, say, $2,000 on it, and there's nothing special that's going on. There's no holiday. There's no real reason why. That's a red flag in that instance, you guys, because they don't have the freight, right? And I would always call ahead, especially if this is a new relationship. Always call ahead and verify with the shipper who this load went to. Okay. That might be unpopular amongst some brokers, but frankly, I don't care. I don't have anything to hide. All of my shipper information is on all of my fucking BOLs. Anytime you book a load with me, every single one of them is going to list shipper information and receiver information. It's going to have contact phone numbers and all of that stuff on there, because I don't believe in withholding that information. And now the people out there who are like, but maybe you shouldn't be booking that carrier if your gut is telling you that I probably shouldn't give them pickup information. That's where your problem lies, right there. It's not the carrier who accepted the load. It's you who didn't vet the carrier properly. And if you're out there feeling the need to withhold information, that's on you as a broker, and you shouldn't fucking be doing that, because it puts people at risk out there. But again, you guys, what more can you do? I'll give some shameless plugs out there. Cassandra Gaines Carrier Sure. She's got a great tool out there. Shameless plug to myself with Broker Carrier. We're going to have some cool stuff coming out here pretty soon when it comes down to it, you guys. But double brokering isn't going to go away. Like, the FMCSA has proven to us that they are not going to do a fucking thing about it. Okay. So how do we arm ourselves? How do we, as a small business, how do we protect each other out there in the market? Educate your people. All right. These criminals, because that's what they are, these fucking criminals out there, they're looking for the easy targets. Okay. They're looking for the people who clearly don't give a shit about the freight that they're moving. We need to be in a position where we are finding that, we are, because like I say this often, right? It's really hard to negotiate with somebody who knows what they're talking about. That's going to deter more people. Most of those individuals are only concerned about the price, right? Like, I was like, hey, what's the rate? What's the rate? What's the rate? They don't care what the commodity is. They don't care what the pickup time. They don't care about any of that stuff because they just want to get that load and then throw it up there on wherever they're posting loads to find it. And then they're going to look to sell it for above what you were going to pay them anyways. So they're going to take it, right? So I think like all of you fuckers out there who are posting those for $1 a mile, you're bringing a lot of this shit on yourselves, right? Because like if you're paying $1,000 on 1,000 miles right now, these double brokers are going to accept that load, and then they're going to go out there and post it for $2,000 or $2,500, and somebody's going to take that load, and that carrier is going to get fucked. It's going to be interesting to see here in the next 3 months how many more claims of double brokering come out because of all the individuals who post loads for 90 cents a mile for full truckloads, 90 cents a mile or $1 a mile or $1.10 a mile. Who do that. It's going to be interesting to see. I bet you that there's going to be an increase in that coming up here in the next couple of months. And I'm just going to call that right now. Freight Coach Adamas just put his helmet on, and I'm calling that in the next couple of months, you're going to see an even bigger increase in double broker and fraud claims that are out there. And then if you really peel back the layers, it's going to come from the fucking brokers who are out there posting $1 a mile on their freight right now. So again, to all of my owner ops and small fleets out there, vet the brokers that you're working with. All right, plain and simple. I know that freight is scarce right now in some areas, but vet the brokers that you're working with. If they can't provide you basic fundamental information about a shipment, don't take it. All right, don't risk your company right now, and don't risk that revenue right now because of that. So that's my little spiel on that today. And now we are going to jump into our second article. That article was from the Wall Street Journal. You guys, Vitaly says, come at it as a regular human being with a solution to a challenge, opportunity, and shippers will at least have a conversation to see if there is anything there. This individual may or may not be your target prospect who you're trying to get after. Just saying. So you might want to take what Vitaly says. Tim Bannon says 100. All right. So next article we are going to break down today, you guys, is from FreightWaves, not DAT. It's FreightWaves, and it's of the DOT. Oh, man, public school did me wrong. DOT, confounding factors hindering safety analysis of ELD mandate. And report to Congress cites hours of service exemptions and drug clearinghouses as challenges. Madison Murphy, I have voiced my absolute displeasure with everything that the state of California is doing as a whole, just an FYI. So yes, scary face to you too, V. Anyways, the Biden administration has acknowledged that it cannot confirm whether or not ELD mandate is improving safety. That acknowledgement came with the ELD oversight report submitted this week by the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, as required by the Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act. In addition to analyzing the cost of effectiveness of the mandate, the report is required to show that the FMCSA, which oversees the ELD enforcement, reviews ELD driver logs and protects truck drivers' personally identifiable information. Early comparisons show the ELD mandate has been effective in reducing hours of service violations, but recent events are challenging the regulators to fully assess the mandate. I was out there, for example, the report indicates that during a two-year period from 2017 to 2019, that truckers to daily and weekly hours of service limits improved. Specifically, 1.19% of driver inspections cited at least one hours of service violation that was out there. By December of 2021, that percentage had increased to approximately 0.77%. Increased compliance with the hours of service rules reduces the risk of fatigue related driving, crashes in whole or in part in patterns of the hours of service violation. However, more recently, multiple events have affected the use of ELDs. Such factors include the September 2020 implementation of new hours of service regulations that was response to the pandemic that was out there, and the implementation of the FMCSA's drug and alcohol clearinghouse. The confounding factors have increased the challenges. So yeah, essentially, at the end of the day, no, it hasn't done anything to improve much on the road. And I think like that is, that's the biggest, that's just the, I don't know. It hasn't improved anything yet. They want to put more, like, and this is what fucking pisses me off about other areas of the FMCSA is they want to put more fucking tracking information on these trucks, and shit like that. Like, if you can't prove that it improves safety, why are we adding more and more shit to these trucks is what I want to know. Because I don't think anybody would really argue that they don't want safer roads. I think that we all want safer roads as a whole, but like, if you're going to put more and more mandates on drivers out there, more requirements, but yet you don't, based on safety, and then when the data comes through, it turns out that it doesn't improve much of anything, why the fuck are they there is what I want to know. Like, and then the DOT and the FMCSA, the two groups that are in charge of this entire industry are saying this. What does that say as a whole? I think it's a joke. I'm not saying remove ELDs or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying, just to be very fucking crystal clear. But if it doesn't improve safety, why are we going to add more and more shit onto people? Because what's the point at that? There's good information in this one, you guys, and it's freightwaves.com, DOT, confounding factors hindering safety analysis of ELD mandate. Yes, LinkedIn user, it's not improving anything that's out there. Whitney Young, who is an owner operator out there and is behind the wheel, says safety problems is the lack of training 90% of the time. And I agree with that. I think like this industry as a whole, I'm gonna go off on a little soapbox here, is lacking fundamental training. It is just basic information that is out there that people are such in a rush just to put people on a sales floor or get them behind the wheel of a truck or anything like that. And they're overlooking things, because it's like, I obviously break down a lot of articles about this industry. Pretty fucking clear if you guys follow my show here, but a lot of the articles that I do break down, a lot of like the crash data and stuff that they're talking about has a direct correlation to Whitney's point here, is it is a lack of training that was out there. And then it's like a rush to get people behind the wheel, like I don't know the ins and outs of every single large fleet's training program, so I'm not going to speak to that. But essentially I can go and get a CDL in like 8 weeks. Like there's CDL schools here in Phoenix that I can get a CDL in like 8 weeks. And then I'm out behind the road. Is that enough training? I don't think so, right? Like, I think like there has to be a buildup, like a lot of other skilled labors out there, because trucking is skilled labor. It takes a lot, to get behind the wheel of these trucks, to go up and down these mountains, to get in and out of some of these loading docks, and to deal with what these drivers deal with. It is very fucking much skilled labor out there. I've ridden in a truck a lot growing up with my dad. I know what it's like out there on the road. It is skilled labor. They need to reinvest in training. I think we need to have more of a strenuous training program that, other blue collar jobs, turns into an apprenticeship and everything else. And then bam, you're behind the wheel with adequate amount of training. I don't believe in just like sticking bodies behind the wheel or in a desk somewhere and saying, hey, figure it the fuck out. I think that we drive more people away from our industry by doing that. That's what's probably making it, to Whitney's point, less safe out there. But well, anyways, you guys, that's going to be it for today. Like I said, exciting announcement out here today. We're going to be getting everything built out in the studio. New partnership with Green Screen, which you can see right up there is their logo and everything. And yeah, we're just going to be building this out, you guys. Again, the whole, I like showing you guys the real side of entrepreneurship instead of the flashy shit and the highlight reel only. That, frankly, at the end of the day, you guys, I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep showing up. I'll do this out of my fucking, the cab of my pickup or of my SUV if I need to. I'll go out there and I'll do it because I'm going to show up every single day, no matter what. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. The Freight Coach Morning Show. We are the top morning show and podcast in transportation. And as always, if you guys saw value in it, subscribe and share the show. Rank the show if you saw value. If you thought I gave 5-star, rank that show 5-star out there on iTunes and Spotify. You guys subscribe to it on YouTube. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.